In the golden sands of Egypt, on the western banks of the Nile River, three monumental structures rise from the plateau at Giza. They have stood there for more than 4.5 millennia, silent, immovable, magnificent. The Great Pyramids of Giza. They are the last surviving wonder of the ancient world, enduring symbols of human ingenuity, ambition, and mystery. And though they have been studied for centuries, explored by archaeologists, engineers, and historians, they continue to pose profound questions that remain unanswered. How were they built? Why were they constructed with such precision? And what do they truly tell us about the civilization that raised them from the desert floor? Let us journey back in time more than 4,500 years ago to an age when Egypt was one of the most powerful civilizations on Earth. The Nile River, flowing from the heart of Africa to the Mediterranean, was Egypt's lifeline. Each year, it flooded the surrounding plains, leaving behind fertile soil. This predictable rhythm allowed agriculture to thrive, and from that stability, a kingdom emerged. The Old Kingdom, often called the Age of the Pyramids, produced some of the most extraordinary monuments ever conceived by humankind. The Great Pyramid at Giza, attributed to Pharaoh Khufu, or Cheops, as the Greeks called him, is the largest of them all. Originally standing at 146 meters, or 481 feet, it was the tallest structure on Earth for more than 3,800 years. Constructed around 2560 BCE, it is estimated to contain over 2 million limestone and granite blocks, each weighing anywhere from 2 to 80 tons. The precision of its alignment with the cardinal directions is astonishing, true north, south, east, and west accurate to within a fraction of a degree. Even today, with all our technology, the sheer scale and accuracy of the Great Pyramid remain difficult to replicate. Yet, the question persists: how did they do it? To understand the mystery, we must first understand the context of ancient Egypt's civilization. By the 4th dynasty, Egypt had already developed a complex social, political, and religious structure. At its center stood the pharaoh, a ruler regarded not merely as a king, but as a divine intermediary between the gods and humankind. To the Egyptians, death was not an end but a transition to the eternal. The construction of pyramids was, therefore, not an act of vanity, but a sacred duty, ensuring the pharaoh's soul could ascend to the afterlife and join the gods among the stars. The earliest pyramids were not smooth-sided structures. They evolved from mastabas, flat-topped rectangular tombs built of mud brick and stone. The revolutionary step came with King Djoser, who reigned around 2630 BCE. His architect, Imhotep, stacked these mastabas in a series of steps, creating the step pyramid at Saqqara. It was the first monumental building made entirely of stone, and the prototype for what would become the smooth-sided pyramid. By the time of Sneferu, Khufu's father, the Egyptians had perfected the art of large-scale construction. Sneferu experimented with several designs, the bent pyramid, the red pyramid, each improving upon the last. And from those experiments came the confidence to attempt something unprecedented, the Great Pyramid of Giza. But building such a massive structure was no simple task. For decades, scholars debated how the stones were quarried, transported, and lifted into place. The prevailing evidence suggests a highly organized workforce rather than slaves, a corps of skilled laborers, engineers, and craftsmen, supported by a vast agricultural economy. They likely worked in rotating teams, supplied with food, housing, and medical care. Excavations at the Giza workers' village have revealed bakeries, breweries, and even cemeteries, evidence of a well-fed, respected labor force. This discovery challenges the old Hollywood image of slaves toiling under the whip. Instead, the builders of the pyramids were citizens fulfilling a sacred national project, a tribute to their king and their gods. Still, the engineering problem remains extraordinary. How were millions of heavy blocks moved across the desert and stacked with such accuracy? One widely supported theory involves a system of ramps, possibly straight, zigzagging, or circular, built of limestone chippings and mud brick. Workers could have dragged the stones on sledges, lubricating the sand with water to reduce friction. Recent discoveries of ancient graffiti and tool marks support this. In 2014, archaeologists discovered the Diary of Mirror, a papyrus logbook from a foreman who oversaw the transport of limestone blocks by boat along canals leading to Giza. This remarkable find confirms that the Nile and its branch canals were used to ferry materials close to the site. From there, workers hauled them up ramps to the pyramid's growing structure. And yet even with these explanations, questions linger. How did they achieve such precise alignment? How did they ensure each level remained level, each corner perfectly square? The base of the Great Pyramid deviates less than 2 centimeters over a span of more than 200 meters. Its sides are aligned almost perfectly to the 4 cardinal points, an accuracy that would challenge modern surveyors. Some researchers propose that the Egyptians used the stars, perhaps the circumpolar constellations, which never set, as reference points for orientation. By observing the transit of these stars across the night sky, they could mark true north with remarkable precision. Others suggest that the sun's shadow, cast at specific times of the year, guided the layout. Whatever the method, the result remains one of the most exact alignments in all of ancient architecture. Inside the Great Pyramid, the design grows even more mysterious. Unlike later pyramids, which often contained elaborate tomb decorations, Khufu's pyramid is largely plain within a series of narrow passageways and chambers, arranged with meticulous geometry. The so-called King's Chamber is constructed from massive granite blocks transported from Aswan, more than 800 kilometers to the south. Above it, 5 relieving chambers distribute the immense weight of the masonry above. Even so, each block is positioned so precisely that the joints are barely visible. To this day, no body has been found within the Great Pyramid, no mummy, no treasure, no sarcophagus lid. Whether the tomb was looted in antiquity or whether it was never intended as a tomb in the conventional sense remains a topic of heated debate. Beyond the physical construction lies the symbolic dimension. The pyramid's shape, rising from the earth to a single point, represented the primordial mound of creation, the first land to emerge from the waters of chaos, according to Egyptian mythology. Its golden capstone, or pyramidion, reflected the sun's rays, linking the pharaoh to the sun god Ra. The internal shafts of the pyramid, aligned with specific stars, may have served as celestial pathways for the king's soul. Thus, the pyramid was not just a tomb, but a cosmic machine, a bridge between earth and heaven. As centuries passed, the pyramids of Giza became more than royal monuments. They became symbols of eternity itself, enduring through war, empire, and the shifting sands of time. When the Greeks arrived in Egypt around 2,000 years later, they were awestruck. Herodotus, often called the father of history, visited Giza in the 5th century BCE and recorded accounts, though often mixed with legend, of how the pyramids were built. He estimated that 100,000 men labored for 20 years, using ingenious machines to lift the stones. While his numbers may be exaggerated, his fascination captures something timeless: the human compulsion to understand these colossal works. As modern archaeology developed in the 19th and 20th centuries, new methods brought us closer to the truth. Excavations, measurements, and even modern scanning technologies have revealed hidden details, corridors, voids, and chambers within the pyramids. In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project used cosmic ray muon imaging to detect a large previously unknown void above the Grand Gallery, a cavity possibly as large as an airliner. Its purpose remains uncertain. Was it a structural feature? A hidden chamber? Or part of some lost architectural function we no longer understand? Each discovery deepens the mystery rather than dispelling it. Meanwhile, countless theories outside mainstream archaeology have also flourished. Some claim that the pyramids were built with the aid of advanced lost technology, even extraterrestrial intervention. While these ideas captivate the imagination, most scholars regard them as speculative. There is no evidence of alien tools or impossible technology, only evidence of human skill, patience, and collective will. Yet, the allure of mystery is undeniable. The scale of the pyramids, their precision, and the astronomical alignments evoke a sense of wonder that easily spills beyond science into myth. Still, the real story, the human story, may be even more remarkable. Imagine tens of thousands of workers, coordinated across decades, cutting, hauling, measuring, and placing stones in perfect order, all without steel tools, cranes, or wheels. Imagine the organizational genius required to feed and house them, to quarry materials hundreds of miles away, and to align every stone with mathematical precision. This was not the work of aliens, it was the triumph of humanity's earliest engineers, astronomers, and laborers united by purpose. Over time, the Giza Plateau grew into a vast necropolis, a city of the dead. Beside Khufu's Great Pyramid stand 2 smaller pyramids, those of Khafre and Menkaure, his successors. Khafre's pyramid, slightly smaller, appears taller because it is built on higher ground and still retains a fragment of its original limestone casing near the apex, a glimpse of how all three would once have gleamed in the sunlight, brilliant white against the desert sky. The Sphinx, carved from the bedrock near Khafre's pyramid, guards the plateau, a lion's body with a human head, possibly bearing the likeness of Khafre himself. Its enigmatic expression has watched over Giza for thousands of years, its meaning still debated: guardian, solar symbol, or cosmic riddle. As the Old Kingdom declined, pyramid building gradually waned. Later dynasties constructed smaller, less precise pyramids, and by the New Kingdom, pharaohs preferred to be buried in hidden tombs in the Valley of the Kings. Yet the grandeur of Giza was never forgotten. It became a site of pilgrimage and reverence, and later, a subject of obsession for explorers, travelers, and scholars alike. Napoleon's troops, upon arriving in Egypt in 1798, stood in awe. Legend has it that Napoleon said to his soldiers, "From the heights of these pyramids, 40 centuries look down upon you." That sense of historical weight still echoes today. The 20th century brought new scientific analysis. Archaeologists like Flinders Petrie meticulously measured the pyramid's dimensions, proving the astonishing precision of the ancient builders. Engineers studied the structure's stability, discovering how its internal design distributes stress through ingenious corbelled ceilings and interlocking courses. Mathematicians noted its geometric relationships, the ratio between height and base approximating the mathematical constant pi, though whether intentional or coincidental remains uncertain. Others found proportions that relate closely to the golden ratio, suggesting that Egyptian architects may have incorporated harmonic principles long before the Greeks formalized them. The pyramids also played a role in our understanding of time and the cosmos. Their alignment may have served as a calendar marking the solstices and equinoxes, linking heaven and earth in one architectural gesture. Some researchers believe the layout of the three pyramids mirrors the stars of Orion's belt, part of a celestial plan connecting the pharaoh's soul with Osiris, the god of resurrection. While not universally accepted, this Orion correlation theory underscores how deeply the Egyptians connected architecture, astronomy, and theology. As modern Egyptology advances, new discoveries continue to reshape our understanding. Archaeologists now use satellite imagery, ground-penetrating radar, and 3D mapping to detect hidden structures beneath the sands. Digital modeling has recreated the Giza Plateau as it appeared 4,500 years ago, vibrant, organized, and alive with human activity. Every discovery, from a discarded tool to a fragment of pottery, adds another piece to the puzzle of how these wonders were achieved. And yet, even with all this knowledge, the pyramids still hold their silence. They speak in stone, massive, enduring, and enigmatic. Their builders are long gone, their language inscribed in hieroglyphs across tomb walls, their intentions only partly revealed. But the pyramids themselves remain not merely relics, but reminders of what human civilization can achieve when guided by vision, faith, and determination. As the sun sets over the Giza Plateau, the golden light turns the limestone blocks to amber. The shadow of the Great Pyramid stretches across the desert, touching the Sphinx, touching the sands that have witnessed empires rise and fall. In that moment, the mystery feels alive again, the hum of time, the whisper of ancient voices, the pulse of eternity. For every question we answer, another arises. What did the builders think as they raised each stone? Did they comprehend that their work would endure for thousands of years? Did they imagine that one day, people from every corner of the world would stand in awe of their creation? Perhaps, deep within their hearts, they knew. Perhaps that was the purpose, to defy death not only for their king, but for their civilization, through stone and geometry and unyielding faith. The Great Pyramids of Giza stand as more than tombs. They are mirrors of human potential, a testament to reason, creativity, and perseverance. They remind us that long before the modern age, humanity reached for the stars and, in their own way, touched them. And so, as we gaze upon these timeless giants of stone, we are reminded that some mysteries are not meant to be fully solved. They are meant to be experienced, to inspire, to humble, to connect us with those who came before. For in the silence of the pyramids, in the vastness of the desert, one truth endures: that human beings, bound by time, still yearn to create something eternal.